Okay. Still not quite right. Okay, I am back, guys. I just can't seem to get the color right on this thing, and I'm going to have to play with this tomorrow. Unfortunately, I am technology challenged, and I'm going to need to do some work on this to get it back to where it should be. But anyway, the Eagles. We've had so many of those Eagle trolls in here all season long, and especially this past week. In fact, I go through and I try and just basically kind of talk with the Eagles, kind of give it back to them the way they've been giving it to me and so forth. And, of course, they all start crying, oh, yeah, well, you're always talking about the Eagles. It's like, yeah, because you guys are always on here. Now, we're going to live stream tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have a better picture than this. And, oh, boy, that's just as awful. Wow. If the Eagles lose, they're not going to like me very much. Not that I think they like me now, but I'm going to get damn near indignant with these guys. Okay, that's a little bit better. I don't look like I'm so red-faced. All right, so hopefully that's a little bit better. Dak is a franchise quarterback. Mark's game face adjusting equipment is like, duh. This is, for me, hard. Trying to figure all this stuff out because I build houses for a living, okay? I build furniture. I got half of this thing built today up in the workshop here. It's easy for me. It's what I've been doing forever. But unfortunately, for me, it's kind of hard doing this computer stuff. I've had to learn quite a bit, and I've learned quite a bit more, but I still have a long ways to go, and trying to now all of a sudden do a new computer, trying to get that loaded up. It's like, oh shit, all my videos and everything else are on the other thing, and I just am trying to get it all situated, so bear with me. Oh, that's perfect now. Okay, well, good. Oh, he's a ghost. Okay. Oh my, he's a ghost. Okay, so we got jokes tonight. But these Eagles, they have been relentless against me. They have talked more trash, told me how stupid I am, and here we go. We're actually going to go ahead and take a call here, see if it comes through. We'll find out if it works, evidently. And we're not getting it. You're on the Joby Sports Report. Hello? Hello? Nope, we missed it. Okay. We got more work to do as far as getting the phone calls in, too. That should have actually been right into... That should have went right into the headset, but it didn't go through. Okay. Tonight's show is a little bit off, guys, and I hope you will bear with me. Is Dez's career ended? I don't think his career's ended, but I think his career's ended in Dallas. It's almost amazing how so many people will tell you that, hey, I'm not going to do this or I'm going to do that, and yada, yada, yada. But the reality is, here's the thing I try to explain to people, because a lot of people have said, no, Dez is going to be back. He is a key person on this team. There's no way in the world that they're going to get rid of Dez Bryant. And it's like, you may think that, but here's the problem. Basically, the cap's going to be about $175 million. Okay? You got 53 guys that have to get paid from that. So that comes out to about $3.5 million on average per player. Okay? I would fix the clarity, but I can't seem to figure out what I need to do on that. It's going to have to end up being on the next show. I'm trying to, but I can't figure out how to get to that, guys, on the clarity. Let me try one more time. It may be the camera's a little dirty or something. But the problem is Dez Bryant's number will be $16.5 million. Tyron Smith's number is going to be $17 million. Tyrone Crawford is $10 million. Jason Witten is $8 million. All of a sudden, you start putting those numbers together, you got a third of your cap right there. Fortunately, we got Dak Prescott and not Tony Romo, because Tony Romo's was 27. So the problem is, when you have that much money delegated to those few guys, you don't have much money to go ahead and pay everybody else. You got Zach Martin, you got to get under contract. Now you've got DeMarcus Lawrence, and if you franchise tag him, he's going to be about $15 million. So you got to get a long-term deal on these guys. So, yeah, you can pay them, but then you've got Chaz Greens for your backups. And that's where our team failed. We had some great, you can't argue with some of the talent that we have if they're on the field. Sean Lee, there's not too many linebackers you're going to take over Sean Lee if he's healthy. Problem is, he hasn't been healthy the whole season. So if he can't stay healthy, then that's going to be a big problem. And the same thing when Tyron Smith went out. Tyron Smith goes down, you got a Chaz Green. And we can't afford to have Chaz Green as our starter. So that's where we kind of are with having Dez Bryant. So do you take Dez Bryant, keep his contract, and pay him $17 million, but then not have some other guys? So that's how you really have to truly look at this thing, because we've got a lot of people that are free agents, and if we lose them like we did last year, then all of a sudden we've got nobody else to fill in. Now, the good news, at least, is we are in better position than we usually are at this time of year. Usually we're having to cut guys right off Jump Street just to get everybody underneath the cap. So, just to get under the cap, we end up having to cut a lot of guys, and we end up basically with next to nobody. So we have $18 million that we can work with right now, but we still have a lot of people to pay. So in my mind, Dez Bryant is gone. Orlando Scandrick is probably gone. And I believe Tyrone Crawford is also gone too. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, but I can guarantee you that not all three of them are going to be there. Let me try one other thing here, guys, on the output. Let's see. Let's drop this bit rate. See if that clears it up a little bit more. Is that any better, guys? Now, who are you guys rooting for, Eagles or Falcons? Me personally, I'm rooting for the Falcons. I want the Eagles dead. I want them out in the first round. I do not want to see them. I do not want to hear them. I am sick and tired of these Eagles trolls, and I'm going to have to root for Atlanta. Not that I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan, but we definitely want to hope for shutting those dudes up. Video bit rate. Okay, hold it. Let me try 2,500. Enter. Okay. Now let's see if this ends up working on here. That's weird. We should be having this go right through.
To accept, press 1.
You're on the Joe Boo Sports Report.
What's up, Mark?
How are you doing? Who's this?
Hey, this is TC, bro.
Hey, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, how's it going? How's all that new equipment you got working?
Well, I've got a lot to learn with it. I just figured out at least how to clear it up a little bit. I think, is that picture a little bit clearer than it was before? Hopefully.
It's a little bit, but it seems like it's further away.
Well, I kind of moved the camera and stuff, and it's so many different buttons and everything else on here that I'm still learning. And you guys know I am old and technology challenged. Probably somebody who really knows what they're doing, like my son, would probably have a better chance at this. But I've tried, literally I got everything yesterday, so got home from work, did some work at the workshop, and trying to get the stuff together. But we'll get it together. So what can we do for you tonight?
Yeah. No, hey, what did you think of all the Brice Butler stuff?
Brice Butler. Well, I got to tell you, it's interesting to say the least. I think he's definitely gone. I don't believe, with as many bridges that he burned yesterday, that he will be back with the Cowboys. I just think that that's going to be it. It's just done. It's over with. You can't say all that about Jerry Jones. You can't say all that about Des Bryant, Cole Beasley. I mean, he literally went through everybody on the team, and I just don't see that being as a great way to kind of be a teammate.
Yeah, but see too, with him saying that, he's in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
He's in those meetings every day.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on, and when you hear that,
Good news.
you kind of gotta ask yourself the question: okay, is this
Running back coach is
really
staying.
getting that stuff?
Yeah.
And is he really ready? I mean, is he next year, or is he going to be more of the same?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see how that's going to be, but I just don't see him being back next year with after all that's said and done, because I think his heart is already with the Raiders. Just sounded like he's just ready to go and get out of here. The thing about it is yeah, there's a lot of problems and things and all that stuff, but see, you don't go out there and tell the whole world. I don't know how, if you've got a significant other, you don't want to go blast everything that, my wife does this, and this. Oh, and you should see her with, makeup on in the morning before she puts it on. You keep that stuff in-house and you try and work through the problems there. You don't try and renegotiate your contract on 3 different shows. And literally it's like he put a bullet to their head and said, hey, if I'm not starting, I ain't going to be here. I'm not sure you make demands like that right off the bat. But hey, what can I tell you? And without a deal, yeah, Michael, with the breaking news, yes, our running backs coach is saying, after all, thank God, of all the coaches to go, he's one that you say, there hasn't been too many problems with the running backs. All the running backs have done pretty good. Now, play calling, yeah, that's a different story. Dez is done. Running back coach was Michael saying, yeah, breaking news. I just don't see Dez Bryant being back. I'm sorry, guys. I just don't. But again, back to the Atlanta Falcons versus the Eagles. The weather's going to get cold. It's 60 degrees out here today. We've got actually severe thunderstorm warnings. But by kickoff, it's going to be about 32 degrees and starting to get cold. So hopefully, Atlanta is an indoor team. Hopefully, they're going to be able to play well outside. The Eagles, on the other hand, I'm not sold on Napoleon Dynamite on Nick Foles. Nick Foles, I just don't believe is that good of a quarterback, and he didn't really show me that much as far as the last couple of games. He had the one game against the Giants. He had 4 touchdown passes where the Giants kept turning the ball over. But other than that, he didn't really look that good.
Call from.
Hi, this is
To send a voicemail, press 2.
Cowboys X Factor, how you doing tonight? Hello?
Hi, good, Marco.
Yeah, how are you
Hi.
doing today? What can we do for you tonight? Hello? You're breaking up on me. Okay. You must be in a bad spot, so you're kind of breaking up. Try and call me back. Kept breaking up, couldn't really understand what you said. Basically, you're right. We have no wide receivers, but Are you saying keeping Dez, Butler, and everybody else that we're going to be fine next year? Clearly, we didn't have anybody who could really break open. Francis Washington, that may be possible. The question you have to ask is, one, will Brice Butler stay healthy? Because Brice Butler's had an injury past. Two, it's one thing playing the number 2 guy. We saw that with Terrence Williams, who played really well, but when Dez was hurt that whole season, or most of that season before, and Terrence Williams had to be the guy, he wasn't really ready to be the guy. You look at a guy like in the past, like Alvin Harper. Alvin Harper was a beast going across the middle and everything else, with the Cowboys and everything else. But once he went to Tampa Bay and Washington and had to be the guy, didn't show that much. I think really in the draft that we're going to be looking for a wide receiver early. The good thing, at least for our Cowboys, is we do have a lot of draft picks. We're up a little bit higher in the draft, and I think that they can go in a multitude of directions. We could use a great linebacker. We could use a great safety. We could use a wide receiver. So the question will be is which way they'll go, and I think they'll go with the best player available. We want to grill some Eagles for lunch tomorrow. Yeah, definitely. I do not want to see the Eagles winning. Okay. Let's try this again.
Call phone. To accept, press 1.
Hello, you're on the Jobu Sports Report. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey,
How are
hey
you doing?
Mark. It's Dave Gary. I'm from Maine. I was on the show for the first live stream, and I just saw your video for when you got 18,000 subscribers. I just wanted to call and congratulate you.
Oh, well, thank you.
I guess that is a huge mark for
Yeah.
you. And as a small YouTuber, I really look up to you, and I really love your channel.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. What's the name of your channel?
Dallas Cowboys Talk.
Dallas Cowboys Talk. Okay, so everybody check out Dallas Cowboys Talk. It's not easy getting out here doing this stuff. You got to have a thick skin because you get some people out here who will say some pretty bad things and stuff at you. So shout out to you, man, and I'll definitely check it out. Dallas Cowboys Talk. Any questions for the night?
Yeah, actually, I have one. Well, I just want to say this about Brice Butler. I like him. He's really good. I'd rather see him start over Dez, but I don't think he'll be back. Do you think he'll be back after what he said?
Well, here's the problem. Unfortunately, with Dez Bryant, you need to make him a June 1st cut. Because if you don't, he's going to end up being $8 million on the cap. If you make him a post-June 1st cut, then you go ahead and get $12.5 million back, and you're only taking a $4 million cut. So free agency will start in March. The question will be is, are we sure we're getting rid of Dez Bryant? And if we're not, then Butler is probably going to say, I better be starting as the number 2. And if I'm not starting at number 2, or if I am starting as the number 2, then that means Cole Beasley's going to be on the bench. So Cowboys can cut him and make him a June 1st cut. They just can't use the money until later on. So it'll be interesting to see what the Cowboys do first, and I think that's going to predicate what he does as well. And they may have to go ahead and open up and show him some love as far as the money goes and say, hey, Brice, we want you on the team. Stepping up the plate, here's a pay raise for you. Okay?
All right, sounds good. Hey, Mark, keep up the good work. I really love your channel.
Thank you.
I just want to say congratulations and keep up the good work.
Well, thank you. We got big plans and stuff for this offseason to get ready for next year. And especially we've got actually something really big we're planning for the draft that I think everybody will enjoy. So thank you very much, and we'll definitely check out your channel. Sandman, here's the thing. But maybe Butler stays. I think Dez is definitely gone, though. There's no way in the world that we can take that cap number. And Dez is not going to take a pay cut.
Call phone. To accept.
Hello, you're on the Jobu Sports Report. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Mark. Hey, man. I got cut off.
Oh, well, it kept breaking up, man. I couldn't hear anything, so I said call back. So what can we do for you tonight?
Yeah. No, just back to the Brice Butler situation. By him exposing that gives us the knowledge that we know what's really going on there in Dallas with Jerry Jones.
Well,
He's practically the offensive coordinator.
Practically? You mean Coach Jarrah?
Yeah, Coach Jarrett.
Coach Jarrah. Well, that's been nothing new. I mean, we've all assumed that was the case, but you just don't want to air all the laundry out in public. That's kind of the way I look at it. Because you become the cancer on the team than the guy that, Jerry, I'm sure, wasn't happy to have that put out there. And the Cowboys have been completely silent about all of it.
Yeah.
So I got to imagine that they're not happy. All right. Well, thank you very much for calling tonight, and we will see you soon.
All right.
Like I said, I'm glad we heard all of it. I'd like to actually hear some more, but the problem is you don't want to put the negative narrative out there. And like I said, I'm sure Coach Jarrett doesn't want to hear that everybody knows that he's actually coaching, and then kind of gives Jason Garrett a pass and says, well, it's not me. Look at Jerry. It needs to be done. Philadelphia Eagles fly. Okay. These Eagles.
Call from.
Hi, this is Cowboy XF. I'm calling.
To accept, press 1. To send a voice.
Cowboys X Factor. What's going on? Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how are you doing, Cowboys X Factor? What's up?
Good. I just think we need to draft a future wide receiver, future quarterback and running back.
Mm-hmm. Well, we definitely need a game breaker. We need somebody who can stretch the field, and I just don't see us with anybody that does that. See, at least in my mind, with the way the offense was, because Dez Bryant, he says he has tendonitis and things. He had the other injuries and so on, and he's getting up there, and these injuries are kind of mounting up. He doesn't have the breakaway speed, and he never was great at running routes. So he's not really getting that much separation. And when you look at most of the routes that he's been running, and even when the ball's been right there, you always see somebody draped all over him. We need somebody that they're going to have to double team and get some more attention after, even if he's not a great catcher, just somebody that says, I can get downfield, and if you don't cover me, I'm going to be wide open. We just don't have that, and it's shrinking the field for our Cowboys.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for calling, man. I appreciate all the support. I absolutely loathe the Eagles. Oh, God, man. I'm praying they lose tomorrow. Please lose tomorrow. God. If they win, it's going to be ugly in here.
Call from.
This is from
To
New
accept,
Jersey.
press 1.
I bet this is an Eagle fan. You're on the Joe Boo Sports Report. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello? Hello? And we're done. Oh, sorry. Try and call back. When you call in, make sure you turn the volume down because you'll get confused because it is taped. It's delayed from when you call in. So if you're listening to that, then you get behind. So make sure you turn your radio down. So try and call back. Apologize. Said 3 hellos and there was nobody there. And then as I was hanging up, oh man, Virginia's finest. Take it easy on those Eagles wings, man. Kevon Frazier actually came on really. Here's the thing you got to feel good about. When you first looked at our rookies starting the season, they didn't look too good. Most of them were injured. We couldn't get a woozy on the field because of the hamstring. Taco, everybody was calling a bust. Lewis was about the most consistent one out there. And Switzer, early part of the season, he had the big fumble and so on. So you're kind of looking around like, boy, this has been not a good rookie class. But as the season went on, part of the resurrection of the defense truly was those guys coming along. I mean, for Taco, I know everybody says, well, he was a disappointment, he was a bust. But he got 3 sacks in the last 5 games in limited playing time. He only played 23, 25 snaps a game. So you're not playing 50, 60 snaps a game where you're going to get more like, say, T.J. Watt did. He played limited time. Now, hopefully...
Call from to accept.
You're on the Jobu Sports Report. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Zach, and I'm from New Jersey.
Hey, how are you doing tonight? What can we do for you?
Good. Yeah, I have one question. Des or Brice?
Okay. So what are your thoughts on Des Bryant?
I mean, he used to be good. Ever since his injury in, I believe, 2015.
Yeah.
And the Eagles, I believe, he fell off.
Well, I think the injuries have hurt him. The thing that Des Bryant had before was he was such a gifted athlete that his natural talents, his speed, his jumping ability, things like that, made up for a lack of precise routes and things like that. When you look at somebody like Jerry Rice, who succeeded even when he got older, it was because he was such a precise route runner. They could time everything out really, really well. And it's just not working out that well right now at Des Bryant.
Yeah,
And a lot of the
all he does
success...
is run hitches and slants. I mean...
Well, a lot of the success that he had was because Tony Romo ended up being kind of a special quarterback. He could take a broken play, scramble around, buy some time, and boom. Yeah. So
when we went to the playoffs last year, I always think if we had Romo, we would have did something bigger last year.
well, truth be told, Dak Prescott had more touchdown passes in that game than Tony Romo had in any of his other playoff games. Kind of putting it out there.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm not sure. I mean, we fell behind early. It was really the defense. We down 21-3. The fact that we came back and were really, really close. I don't know if Tony Romo would have gotten you that much more, but, we'll never know at this point. But thank you very much for the call.
Yeah.
And be safe out there.
Bye.
That's one of those ones that kind of drive me crazy because everybody says, oh, Tony Romo, of course we would have done better with Tony Romo, but Tony Romo had his opportunities too. We had all of those 8-8 years where it was basically a win and get in game. Didn't do it then. We had 2014 catch no catch game. Tony Romo was there. We didn't get it done. So it's just kind of like, I'm not blaming Tony Romo. I still go back to play calling. I think that has been our biggest problem overall. I think a lot of times when things get tight, we go to the pass too soon. You can look at the Seattle game where we're 1st and 3. Zeke Elliott, probably best shape of last year, coming back wanting to run the hell out of the ball. 1st and 3, and we're throwing? 2nd and 2, we're throwing? Really? The catch, no catch? It was 4th and 1, and we're throwing? One of those 8-8 years where we're playing the Eagles, 4th and 1, Tony Romo's hurt, and we're throwing? Guys, we pass too damn much. So, or at least at the wrong times. Sometimes you got to go ahead and just man up, run the ball, take the safe play, get that first down. That's just me. I'm old school. I believe in grinding out the clock, and running the ball is safer than always throwing it all the time. When you throw too much, you become one-dimensional. The guys can pin their ears back and come after you, and they're going to end up sacking you. Well, J-Wad, You say that having a torn ACL is nothing, especially for a 25-year-old, to a point. But I'm going to tell you, once you hurt that thing, it's still never the same. And he's probably not going to be ready for the beginning of the season. So keep that in mind. And the other problem with that is, generally speaking, they rush back, which is the worst thing to
To
do.
accept, press 1.
You're on the JB Sports Report. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Mark? This is Brian out here in Fresno, California.
Hey, man, how you doing? How's the weather out there?
You know what? It's not too bad this time of year. It's been all right, my friend. It's been all right. How you doing?
Man, I'm kicking, man. The weather's been crazy over here. It was 8 degrees on Monday, 60 degrees today, and it's going to be 15 tomorrow. So we're kind of like up and down like crazy.
Jesus Christ.
So what's on your mind
9
tonight?
degrees out here. It doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, so what's on your mind tonight?
Hey, you know what, man? I just wanted to call in and see what you think about all these little small coaching changes that we got on. You know, are you thinking Rod Marinelli's going to stick around, or what's going to happen?
Well, they're
you
giving
know, with a running back coach. So
our running back
I'm not
coach is
crazy about
staying.
the coach staying, but it is what it is.
Okay,
We'll see
well,
what happens. But I think we need our running back coach to stay, and I hope they bring back Marinelli for 1 year. Anyways, Mark, I'll listen to what you have to say out there.
Oh, I appreciate it. Well, our running back coach is staying, so he's not going, so that's actually a good thing. Our offensive line coach, he's gone, as well as our wide receiver coach is gone as well. Rod Martinelli, they're just basically giving him as much time as he wants to decide. He actually has some physical problems. He's got a bad hip that's been hip replaced and things like that, and he is getting older, you know, and having the wear and tear and stuff on there. So that's where he's evaluating where his body is and his mind and his desire. Martinelli, the defense, when you look at it from 2013, which was about as bad a defense as you could have, and that's back when we had Jason Hatcher, who got 11 sacks, back when you had Sean Lee, because he was missing in 2014, and you had When you let Hatcher go and DeMarcus Ware go, and then Sean Lee tears his knee up, the last thing you expected for that defense to do was to get better. And they actually got better that year, went to 19th, the next year 17th, and so on. And they've been progressively getting better, which didn't seem like it early part of the season.
Call phone. To accept, press 1.
You're on the Joe Boo Sports Report. What's your name and where are you calling from tonight?
How you doing? I'm Jeremy Sanders. I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Hey, Jeremy, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I can't complain. Well, I can complain about this sore throat and trying to figure out all this new software and stuff, but other than that, I'm great.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, I was calling about the coaching. What do you think about Jason Garrett still being the coach for the next year?
Do I really have to answer that one? I have never. Okay, well, here's the reality. I wanted Jason Garrett gone when Wade Phillips was fired. I looked at that when, you know, the team started out, Owen, whatever. I said the offense was as much of the problem as the defense was. And if you're going to clean house, clean house. And I kept going back to my mind of thinking that he was only an offensive coordinator for a year. A quarterback's coach for a year. Then was hired as offensive coordinator, and now you're going to make him head coach. I'm like, this is on-the-job training. Okay, fine. I get that.
Yeah.
But it's been 7 years, and we keep making the same mistakes that we have overall. Passing too much when you should be running the ball. Clock management, play calling, and a grasp of having control over the team. I see Dez Bryant in that game in Seattle where he's literally melting down, and I don't see Jason Garrett there with him at all. Every time there's a problem on the team, you never seem to see Jason Garrett being the coach. He's not calling plays, so in my mind, I'm wondering, what do you do? Now, I'm not there at practice when they're closed doors and all that, but I just don't see him really being a leader, and maybe it's because Jerry Jones really is the de facto coach, general manager, and owner, but I'm just not a big fan of him. It is what it is, and I got to throw my support behind him because we don't have any other choice. So, what are your thoughts on Jason Garrett? Your thoughts on Jason Garrett?
Man, I just feel like it's been very repetitive for the past 10 years. Like, we haven't been able to establish a great team with Jason Garrett. And every player that's left the team has always talked bad about the Cowboys, like Brice Butler now.
Talks bad and usually plays better.
Yeah, man.
What are
Barry Church left.
Yeah.
Jack says it's the best team that he's ever played on, and look at him now. They're playing really good on defense.
He's in the playoffs and they've got a win already. So yeah, you can definitely say that with all honesty. I just look at this team and it seems like we are just stuck in a rut. And we've changed players, we've changed quarterbacks, we've changed everything but the coach. And you don't normally see coaches that coach that long without having major success. We've had, really, well, you can count this year, but 3 years of a winning record. It's not that great. And you could almost say that those 8 and 8 years, because every one of those years were chances that had we won, we would have been in the playoffs. Those were like playoff games that you lost as well. I just see so many guys that are doing more with less than what we do, and to me, it just drives me crazy. But I don't own the Cowboys, so I can't make that change. Like I said, all I can hope for is that he gets it, and finally light bulb comes on and he becomes, Tom Landry. The funny thing I have that always gets me is people will go through and they'll compare Tom Landry's first 7 years with Jason Garrett, forgetting that the Dallas Cowboys were an expansion team and he started out with nobody. When Jason Garrett, who was the offensive coordinator who went to the playoffs, it was a playoff team. You had a team that still had a lot of great players when he took over. So to say that, Tom Landry and his, their records are similar, Tom Landry started with an expansion team and built them. In 5 years, he was in the NFL championship game against the Packers, the Ice Bowl. And had it not been for the Packers going out and getting sneakers at the halftime, for halftime, and being able to run on the field while they were ice skating, it may have been the Tom Landry Trophy instead of the Vince Lombardi one. So that's all I got to say about that. But thank you very much for the call tonight. I appreciate all the support.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's going to be the end of the calls for tonight, guys. The show went by quick. I apologize for the snafus and stuff with the equipment. I've got to go back through and get everything reset in here with the computer and stuff. I'll work on that this weekend, so by Monday night we will have it together. Everybody who ended up doing a super chat, I'll be sure to add you to the drawing. And let me make sure. We got Adrian, we got Jeremiah, we got The Paradox, we got Chaz J, we got Ricky Lee. All will be added to the drawing for Monday, so I appreciate all the super chats. We're going to be doing a lot of different things with the channel to upgrade it. The show will be better once I get used to the new equipment and things. And we're going to end up making sure we have a great time. Tomorrow, guys, get your shot glasses, get some rum. I want some bad mojo for those Eagles. I do not want them to win, please. I just don't want to hear that damn Eagles fight song, Fly, Eagles, Fly. I don't want to hear those Eagle trolls. I'm sick and tired of them dudes here on the page all the time. So think happy thoughts for the Atlanta Falcons. We do not want the Eagles to win. And I know I'm going to be hearing a lot of crap from you Eagle trolls out there. J-Wad and Fly, Eagle, Fly, and EDP, nobody or something or other. New camera, no Beanos. Okay. Zach and House. How you doing, Zach? My Cowboys family. Carlos, Virginia's finest. Zachariah. Everybody who tuned in. Nation, Jason, Joseph Hartley. How you doing tonight, Joseph? I am a ghost. Well, it's the lights are too bright in here, and I got to get it color balanced and all that. So I'll work on that and get it looking better. Unfortunately, trying to talk to you guys, adjust the camera, and all the boards and stuff, it's just a little too much to try and do at one time. But I will get it together by Monday. So Monday, hopefully, everything will be looking really good, and we'll have a great time. We'll do the drawing here for the DeMarcus Lawrence shirt and get that in the mail and on out. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I couldn't have gotten to 18,000 plus subscribers without you guys. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing and trying to get better and better and better and bring you the best news of the Dallas Cowboys. And with that being said, I'm going to go drink some more tea. I'm going to take some NyQuil, and I'm going to go just get knocked the F out and go to bed. So as always, friends, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. See you